Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to the Daytona International Speedway as we are getting ready for the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. 43 of the world's best drivers lined up on pit road, getting ready to go green in the first race of the 2016 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series season. On the front row will be your defending winner of the race, the number 22 of Joey Logano. The champions of Ford won qualifying on pole day, so he will start on the pole. He also won his dual race on Thursday. On row number 2, you have the number 41 Monster Chevrolet of Kurt Busch for Stewart-Haas Racing. We had a total of 49 entries, but only 43 qualified for the 50th running of the Daytona 500. Like we said, 43 drivers will be racing here today, and the question is, who will be that driver who takes home the trophy at the end of the night? The driver who wins tonight could very well guarantee himself a spot in the 2016 playoffs to chase for the championship. That is pretty much all your pre-race news. Friday night we saw Johnny Sauter pick up his second Daytona win. Yesterday we saw Brad Keselowski pick up his first Daytona win. Who will it be tonight? Now let's take a look at your Sunoco starting grid. On row number 1 we have the number 22 of Joey Logano, like we mentioned, won the pole on pole day, alongside the 41 of Kurt Busch. Row 2 we have the number 29 Sorlod Chevrolet, highest rookie on the grid, Brian Scott, alongside Can-Am Duel number 2 winner Kevin Harvick. Row 3 we have the number 15 Brian Vickers, making a return to NASCAR after missing almost the entire 2015 season, alongside your reigning champion Kyle Busch. Row 4, the number 19 Aris Toyota of Carl Edwards, alongside Michael McDowell. A great qualifying run by that number 95 after he had to race his way in through his dual race. Row 5, the number 17 Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has never won a race in the Cup Series. Will tonight be the night? Alongside the number 27 of Paul Menard. Been over 5 years since he's been in victory lane. Row 6, Clint Bowyer makes his first start with Furniture Row Racing alongside his new and former teammate Martin Truex Jr. Row 7, David Reagan, driving the 55 in 2016 alongside his boss, the number 98 of Michael Waltrip. Row 8, the number 20 of Matt Kenseth alongside the 40 of Landon Castle. Row 9, the 500 pole center from 1 year ago, or 2 years ago, Austin Dillon, alongside a 51 of Justin Allgaier. Rounding out your top 20 on row number 10, Dakota Armstrong, one of our Rookie of the Year contenders. Dakota making his debut in the Cup Series today, alongside the number 10 of Regan Smith. Row number 11, we have the number 13 Geico Chevrolet of Casey Mears, alongside the number 42 of Kyle Larson. Row 12, we have the number 7 of Alex Bowman, alongside last night's winner Brad Keselowski. Row number 13, we have the number 34 of Brett Moffitt, alongside the number 38 of David Gilliland. Row 14, the number 9 of Elliott Sadler, and the 24, Chase Elliott makes his debut in the famed number 24. Row 15, we have the number 16 of Greg Biffle, alongside defending Xfinity champion Chris Buescher. Row 16, 2008 winner Ryan Newman, and number 11 of Denny Hamlin. Row 17, Trevor Bayne and Jamie McMurray, 2 former 500 winners. And then on row number 18, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, 2-time 500 winner, alongside Matt DiBenedetto, making his first start in the race. On row number 19, we have the number 88 Dale Earnhardt Jr., 2-time 500 winner, alongside the 47 of AJ Allmendinger. On row 20, Eric Almirola and Casey Kane, both drivers who wrecked in their dual race, was in the top 5 on pole day. On row number 21, the number 12 of Ryan Blaney, and the 14, Tony Stewart in his final Daytona 500. And then lastly, the number 32 of Bobby Labonte on row number 22 will round out the field for Go Fast Racing. Like we said, we had 49 entries, only 43 made the show. J.J. Yaley, Michael Annett, Reed Sorensen, Harrison Rhodes, Jeff Green, Travis Quapple did not qualify. I believe there may have been another driver who did not qualify. I can't quite remember. But the field making their way into turns 3 and 4. Joey Logano and Kurt Busch, your front row. Kurt, a 2-time runner-up in the race. Logano, the defending winner. with one of the biggest races of the year. About to get on the green right here at Daytona. Your pace car will hit pit lane. Joey Logano and Kurt Busch, your front row. The 2016 Daytona 500 is underway. Logano, Kurt Busch, Lisa's down to the line. We're underway from Daytona. And already making it 3 wide, the number 20 of Matt Kenseth on the inside of David Reagan as they head down into turn number 1 for the first time tonight. Harvick right on the back bumper of his teammate, the 41 of Kurt Busch. Off turn 2, the 29 of Brian Scott has a pretty good run on the 22 of Joey Logano. To the inside comes the 29 rookie Brian Scott. Vickers in the middle now in that 15. Scott will lose his drafting partner for the moment. But he has enough momentum to get on the inside of the 22 of Logano. Vickers in the middle. Stenhouse in the 17 now on the inside with Matt Kenseth behind him. They come from turn number 4 down to the line. A great push from the 41 to Logano in the 22. Stenhouse and Vickers rubbing doors. They're 4 wide for no reason here on lap number 2 of the race. This is a 25-lap event here at Daytona. The 50th running in the Daytona 500, and is being led by Rookie of the Year contender Brian Scott in the 29. Brian Scott spent the past 6 or 7 years in the NASCAR Kevin Road Truck Series and the NASCAR Xfinity Series, trying to get that opportunity to run in the Cup Series full time. He got that chance by Richard Childress. Got to ride in the number 29 Sorlot Chevrolet. But he will lose the lead to 2-time Xfinity champion Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on the inside line, leading the Matt Kenseth up in the second place. Stenhouse now out in front of the field at Daytona. And Bobby Labonte in the 32 is about to draft in that 32 car. Sharing around with Jeffrey Earnhardt and Jeb Burton in 2016. And now Matt Kenseth, David Reagan, Regan Smith, and Casey Mears on the inside line. Kenseth moves to the lead, but now he moves high. Here comes the 55 of David Reagan and the 10 of Regan Smith. There's the 13 of Casey Mears and 98 of Michael Waldrop. The field has kind of been separated a little bit in half. We got about maybe the first 30 or so cars in the lead pack swapping the lead each lap they go by. And then back here, Jamie McMurray, Greg Biffle, Chase Elliott, rookie Chris Buescher, a rookie just trying to hang back. And now up front, David Reagan has gotten the lead away. The former Daytona winner from 2011, David Reagan, who almost won this race back in 2011 but a penalty on a restart causes him the race. And a shot to make the chase. Then you got Regan Smith in the middle. Casey Mears on the bottom with help from the 98 two-time 500 winner Michael Waldrop. We saw a lot of wrecks in the dual races, but so far been kind of nice and clean as the best you can be, at least at Daytona. And now Casey Mears. You talk about underdogs who could win a race at Daytona in Talladega. An underdog you got to keep an eye on is this number 13 Germain Racing Chevrolet of Casey Mears. And then you got the number 98 of Michael Waldrop, driving for Premium Motorsports, owned by Jay Robinson. This 98 will be running full-time. Ryan Preece will drive the number 98 next weekend at Atlanta. And now in the middle comes the 10 of Regan Smith, help from the 15 of Brian Vickers. And now here comes yesterday's Xfinity winner, Brad Keselowski. Keselowski won yesterday's Xfinity race in a photo finish with Darrell Wallace Jr. and Matt Kenseth. Keselowski being pushed by Trevor Bayne, but then you got Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jimmy Johnson, Eric Almirola, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, all started outside the top 30 in this race, and they have now found their way inside the top 15 in less than 7 laps here at Daytona. Now Jr. and Johnson, the two Hendrick Chevrolets on the inside, moving towards the front. New leader number 88, Dale Jr. to the lead. Dale Jr., one of those drivers who ran in last night's Xfinity race, got a top 5 finish. Almirola in that 43 was also in that race, but got caught up in that big crash late in the race and finished outside the top 30. And now Jr. and Johnson first and second. And now Johnson will leave his teammate as he moves to the inside, the 48 on the inside of the 88. And looks like they may be 4 wide back here. if they were 4 wide, they was able to sell it down to 3 wide. Saw some drivers who were kind of out of the draft earlier. They've now gotten themselves back in the lead pack, like Chris Buescher, Jamie McMurray, Chase Elliott. Right now, Kyle Busch running 34th. And then you got Michael McDowell, Landon Castle, Brett Moffitt, Alex Bowman, Matt DiBenedetto, David Gilliland, Dakota Armstrong, and Bobby Labonte. They are right now have already lost the draft already. Dakota Armstrong making his Cup Series debut in a Cup car until this weekend at Daytona, and he made the show from his dual race. And now to the lead comes the 12er Ryan Blaney as Johnson rubs doors with Trevor Bayne in the Tri-Oval. And we're reuniting with a team. You talk about Elliott Sadler. Last job in the Cup Series for Richard Petty Motorsports, but left the team due to sponsorship. And now Casey Kane trying to make it 4 wide off turn number 2, pushing Sadler to the lead in that 9 car. On the inside line, so far we've been clean for 8 laps. No wrecks, no carnage yet. But now Sadler on the inside to the lead. Help from the 5 of Casey Kane, but Keselowski's in the wall. Down into Clint Bowyer. Keselowski in the wall. And that will hold up some guys back here like David Reagan, Matt Kenseth, Stenhouse, and Brian Scott. Off pace is the 2 of Brad Keselowski. Yesterday's winner in the wall, but we stay clean and green. That towards the front of the field. Is that the 15 of the 98 right here? Michael Waldron looks like he may have also scrubbed the wall. Clint Bowyer almost got taken out by the 2 of Keselowski. And now out in front is the 5 of Casey Kane. Talk about a guy who had a disappointing 2015 season. You gotta look at this 5 of Casey Kane. His 3 teammates made the chase, but Kane only finished 18th in points. And now you got the 1 of Jamie McMurray, former 500 winner, and rookie Chris Buescher in that 21, and Chase Elliott replacing the now retired Jeff Gordon in the number 24, Napa on board, and Elliott moving up inside the top 5 as McMurray trying to block both lanes, but Buescher gets the best of them. On the inside comes the 21. And you see back there the 22 of Logano, your pole center. Won his dual race, but now losing the pack with 16 to go at Daytona. 3 wide over 12 rows deep here at Daytona. And we keep on seeing that a driver will get the lead, but then they move up high, and now we see another driver on the inside. They'll go to the lead. We saw that in last night's race as well. Now we have the 48 in the wall. We have trouble. Back here, Jimmy Johnson, Dale Jr., and Kyle Busch is around. I'm sorry, that's Austin Dillon, but we got a crash back here. Waldron, McDowell, DiBenedetto, and Keselowski piles in. Castle and Bowman. Brian Scott's involved. David Reagan. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Dale Jr. is involved. Matt Kenseth, Michael Waldron, Michael McDowell had a great qualifying run. Brian Scott, Jimmy Johnson involved. The 48, Matt DiBenedetto, and Bobby Labonte, Dakota Armstrong. These 2 are lucky that they lost the draft because they would be able to get through here nice and clean. David Reagan trying to get to pit road. Going through the grass, getting into his pit stall. But the big one has strike here at Daytona, and it's taking out some big names like Dale Jr. and teammate Jimmy Johnson. But how about your leader? The rookie teammate Chase Elliott is now your leader at Daytona, leading Greg Biffle, Chris Buescher, Jamie McMurray, and Martin Truex Jr. Let's go back and see if we can replay of what happened if we got the first caution of the day. Was taking out some pretty big names, and it's now sent Matt DiBenedetto behind the wall. Okay, what we're going to look at first is we're going to see what happened to the number 2 of Brad Keselowski, which is pretty much what caused the second or the first big one of the day. It's like he may have gotten in the turn 3 a little bit too hot, and he has a 98 of Michael Waldron right behind him, and my mouse is kind of froze. Hang on. There it goes. Goes down into Clint Bowyer, hits the outside wall. And right here, David Reagan, Matt Kenseth, Stenhouse, Brian Scott, they all have to get out the gas just to avoid the 2 car. And that right there, that right there pretty much just ruined their day because they're going to be getting caught up in the crash, which involves the 2 Hendrick cars of Johnson and Jr. You know, we just saw these 2 at the front of the field just like a lap prior. And now they're already on the outside going back and down here. Turn 3. Here we go. And it looks like the 48, the same thing really. Gets in a little bit too hot entering turn 3. The 48 or Jimmy Johnson. Looks like he gets in there a little bit too hot. And the Dale Jr. in that 88 right behind him. He turns low, tries to avoid the 48. The 48 comes down into the 41 of Kurt Busch. A big impact for the 41. Then Michael Waltrip spins out. Right in front of Kevin Harvick and Joey Logano. They're able to get through that. But then Junior drives away, so does Austin Dillon. Michael Waltrip and Jimmy Johnson. They're going to end up spinning down the track. There's Scott, Stenhouse, Reagan, Kenseth. Those four, remember, they were slowed down by the two of Keselowski. But then, here comes McDowell, DiBenedetto, Keselowski, Landon Castle, Moffitt, and Bowman trying to get through. All of them got a piece of it. There's the two of Keselowski. And Moffitt, Bowman trying to get through. They all got damage as well. Michael McDowell had a great run in his dual race. His 95 car has to qualify on time for the first 3 races. This team will be full time in 2016, but not doing a great start right now. The 95 is right now on pit road. Looks like his day could be over. Only 11 laps into the 2016 Daytona 500. We'll be right back to get you back underway. After all the mess that's taken out a lot of drivers in this race, Chase Elliott, of all drivers, is your leader going back green with 11 laps remaining in the Daytona 500. Greg Biffle, Chris Buescher, these guys, Buescher's never even won a race, neither has Elliott. Biffle has never won a 500 and has not won since 2013. McMurray and Truex, Allmendinger, Kane, Kyle Busch, Sadler, and Trevor Bayne. Ryan Newman, Ryan Blaney, Regan Smith, Paul Menard, and Brian Vickers, Justin Allgaier, Denny Hamlin, Carl Edwards, Tony Stewart, and Kyle Larson. Mears, Boyer, Harvick, Logano, Moffitt, Bowman, Gilliland, Armstrong, Labonte, and Stenhouse. And then you got Landon Castle, Dale Jr., Austin Dillon, and Kurt Busch still on track. Eric Almirola is out the race. Not quite sure what happened to the 43. You have to look at that in a moment. David Reagan, Keselowski, Michael Waltrip, Kenseth Scott, McDowell, Johnson, and DiBenedetto as we are back underway. 11 to go from Daytona. Chase Elliott out in front of the field. Greg Biffle in second. Allmendinger to the inside. Is that Truex in that 78? It is. But now to the inside comes the 16 of Greg Biffle. His teammate Stenhouse was caught up in that big one. Not quite sure what Trevor Bayne is in that 6 car. There he is on the outside behind Kyle Busch. And now the 2 fours lined up. Greg Biffle and Chris Buescher. Now Buescher to the inside, and here comes that 47 of Allmendinger. Allmendinger almost won the sprint unlimited. Lost after that guy right there in the 1. McMurray made a move into the middle. McMurray turned Allmendinger down into Paul Menard. But sent Menard back up in Allmendinger and just caused a pretty intense way for the 48 of Jimmy Johnson to get the win, but Johnson out of the race, won't be lucky today. Now Chris Buescher under attack from the 47 of A.J. Allmendinger, and Elliott Sadler in the 9. Sadler in that 9 to the inside. He has Kyle Busch in the 18 pushing him. Ryan Newman on the inside with Regan Smith, Brian Vickers, and Paul Menard. And at the tail end of this lead pack, the 42 of Kyle Larson just trying to hang on and stay with the lead pack. Then Casey Mears, Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, Joey Logano. Not quite sure what happened to, like the 22 and the 4 has severe damage or not. There's the 32, Bobby Labonte trying to get through Brett Moffitt, Alex Bowman, Dale Jr. slow. And now Ryan Newman on the inside. Here comes the 31 of Ryan Newman, Regan Smith and Brian Vickers, 10 and 15. Now you see the 4 of Harvick, the 22 of Logano just trying their best. They catch this lead pack as they're 3 wide, over 8 rows deep. Now Regan Smith getting pushed out in front of the field at Daytona. Ryan Vickers in that 15, Menard, how about Justin Allgaier in that 51, and Tony Stewart making his final start in the Daytona 500. Could he possibly win in his final attempt? And there you see in the back, Kevin Harvick is catching him. Catching the lead pack, so is Casey Mears. So is Logano, but the 5 is coming to pit road. Casey King off pace in the 5. Coming to pit road, our third Hendrick car having trouble. Johnson, Jenny, we already documented about their issues. Elliott now falling back in the 24. Now Bowyer, can he get up to the lead pack in the 77? These guys on the outside and the inside, they are just pushing as hard as they can. They know time is running out. We have about 7 to go. Next time around, Justin Allgaier out in front, trying to block 3 lanes of traffic. It won't be enough as Tony Stewart to the inside of the inside line. Allgaier goes high to pick up Paul Menard. Here comes the 2 Toyotas in the middle, Vickers and Kyle Busch. And now Stewart getting pushed by the 19 of Carl Edwards. Off turn number 4. It'll be 7 to go from Daytona. But who is in the best seat right now? Will we see another big one? Will we see? As here comes the 5 of Casey Kane off pit road. Where do he have to be and what time? When did he go to the front? As we got the 42 of Kyle Larson now. Out in front after, well, we all know Kyle Larson and Daytona don't mix. We all saw the Xfinity crash here in 2013. Larson up in the cat's fence. The guy behind him, Denny Hamlin, he's been close to winning this race a lot of times. Has not got it done yet, and Menard's in the wall. Slows down Regan Smith in the 10. Sadler, Allmendinger, Buescher, and Bowyer, and Menard still in the wall. Off pace now, the 27, Paul Menard, off pace, losing time. And guys like Allmendinger, Elliott Sadler, Ryan Newman, Chris Buescher, that costed all those drivers. And now you got Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, and a look at Kevin Harvick and Joey Logano. Those 2 drivers were almost, they lost the pack. They pretty much lost the pack, but they were lucky enough to able to catch the lead pack, and now they have a shot at the win. Larson leading the outside line. Hamlin has his teammate Edwards behind him, and now Edwards moves into the middle. And now Ryan Blaney, Kevin Harvick, Logano, Biffle, and Biffle has his teammate Trevor Bayne pushing him. And could Chase Elliott possibly win in his first ever Daytona 500? Could Justin Allgaier get a win, his first career win? Kyle Larson, he's never won a race in the Cup Series before. Chris Buescher, he's never won it, but Buescher has been able to catch up to the pack. So has Mears, Newman, Sadler, and Bowyer. Allmendinger having trouble, and Menard right now running 23rd. Casey Kane right now in 34th, 1 lap down in the 5. 4 to go, next time by. Who is in the best seat? Here comes Logano and Biffle and Bayne, 3 Fords on the inside line. Logano back out in front. Logano, who almost got involved in that first big one of the day. Now Logano out in front, but Biffle moves to the inside to keep Logano from shutting the door on him. But now they're going to catch that number 40 of Landon Castle. And look at the inside line go. A big advantage as Logano. Harvick held up by the 40 of Landon Castle. Logano, Harvick, Hamlin, Larson, Stewart, Allgaier, all held up by the 40 of Landon Castle. Stewart to the bottom, all trying to go through the middle, as that 40 just holding up all these guys for no reason. But look, you got through it. Chase Elliott, Greg Biffle, Chris Buescher, Trevor Bayne, Elliott Sadler, and Ryan Newman. They have gotten through it, and one of these guys is going to win this race. Biffle, Truex, and Newman. They've won a race before. So has Sadler, but it's been so many years. Can Sadler win it in his return to Cup racing? And Elliott, Buescher, they've never even been in this situation before at the top level of NASCAR in the Cup Series, leading probably the biggest race of their career they've ever been in. Elliott on the outside, help from Greg Biffle, but here comes the 2 Fords, Chris Buescher and Elliott Sadler. Chris Buescher, the reigning Xfinity champion, now getting pushed by Elliott Sadler. Now Truex on the inside. Could these guys back here possibly catch them? McMurray, Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Ryan Blaney. Buescher leading Elliott Sadler, Ryan Newman, and Truex. Now these guys are pretty much teammates. Could they possibly help each other? I don't know. Here comes Truex making it 3 wide. Sadler on the inside lane. What a great story it will be for all of these drivers at the front of the field. Newman, the only driver up here who has won the Daytona 500 before. Newman behind Sadler. Truex, no help, and here comes the 21 of Chris Busch. Chase Elliott in the middle. Elliott now in the middle again. They're 4 wide. All behind the 9 of Elliott Sadler. This is what the 9 needs. Or does he? The 21 backs off. They remain 3 wide now. Here comes a 31 of Ryan Newman. They're still 4 wide down to the line. The white flag waves. One more lap around Daytona. Elliott continuing to try to rig that 31. Ryan Newman now in second. Here comes the 78 of Martin Truex Jr. It is not over yet, and by no means. Newman in the middle has Trevor Bayne pushing him. It's Sadler too far out ahead of the field. Does Newman have time to catch him? Here comes the run by Ryan Newman. Has help from Trevor Bayne. Look at the run. Newman is coming. He's coming. The Sadler block. Here he comes, Ryan Newman. Ryan Newman to the inside. Can he possibly go and win his second 500? Trevor Bayne, Greg Biffle, Sadler, and Chase Elliott in top 5. Ryan Newman. Here comes Trevor Bayne to the inside. And Ryan Newman will win the Daytona 500 at Daytona. Ryan Newman has just won his first race in the 2016 season right here at Daytona. And what a way to do so. Landon Castle is on pit road, but what a story this will be. Ryan Newman has won the Daytona 500 and has pretty much locked himself a spot in the 2016 chase for the championship. What a great job by the number 31 of Ryan Newman. Got around that 9 of Elliott Sadler, who finishes a great, very well, solid 4th place finish in his return to Cup racing with Richard Petty Motorsports. Trevor Bayne 2nd, Greg Biffle 3rd. What a great day by the Rouse Fords. Chris Busch a top 10, Truex top 10, Elliott a top 5. Brian Vickers and Jamie McMurray also got top 10 finishes here at Daytona. Unbelievable stories all inside the top 5 and 10. But the big story, no doubt, the number 31 of Ryan Newman, your winner at Daytona. Ryan Newman started all the way back in the, I'm trying to look where he started at. He started all the way back in 31st place. But Ryan Newman got a push on the last lap, and Elliott Sadler did not block entering turn 3. Possibly he knew Newman had too much of a run to even try to block. And Ryan Newman, your winner here at Daytona. As you now see your official results on your screen, Ryan Newman, your winner. 2nd place, Trevor Bayne. 3rd is Greg Biffle. 4th is Elliott Sadler and Chase Elliott. Chris Busch, Martin Truex, Ryan Blaney, Brian Vickers, and Jamie McMurray, your top 10. And old Sadler runs right into Newman here on pit road. Next week in the NASCAR Kevin Road Truck Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Spring Up Series will be live from the Atlanta Motor Speedway next weekend. And Ryan Newman does not have to sweat like he did last year to make the chase. In 2014 and 2015, he did not win a single race, but was able to punch his way into the chase. This year, it's different. He can go out and try to do anything he can to get a 2nd win now, as he's already clinched a spot in the 2016 NASCAR Chase for the Spring Cup. Congrats to Ryan Newman, your 2016 Daytona 500 winner, and we will see you next weekend for Atlanta Racing. I'm Eric Burton in the booth. We'll see you next weekend from Atlanta.